Going on, shout out USC, man. Appreciate the support.
Shout out to USC, you know what it is. Nothing but love, man.
Trojan fellas, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, happy game day. You heard it right. Happy game day to the USC football Trojans, man. Listen, it's about to be go time. On it popping, on it cracking, man. Look, you guys know I will be coming back to you guys live after the game, immediately following the game. But I want to get into this game real quick. And listen, you guys forgive me, man. I was supposed to be live with B. Shaw. He was ready to rock and roll. Of course, you guys know I have 1,000 other things going on as well, and I got lost in the sauce as far as my work and all that's concerned. But here we are, man. It's Friday. We're going to talk about this game. We're not going to go over everything, but we're going to kind of touch on some things that I feel like needs to happen as it relates to USC football team. When you look at this Northwestern team, this is a team that's going to be physical, man. This is a team that's going to come out there and try to move and groove. A team that's going to try to play their football game. It's a team that's not going to make a lot of mistakes. A team that actually executes very well. A team that's coached well as well. But when you talk about athlete for athlete, something that I always kind of talk about all the time. How does a team match up with USC athlete for athlete? I feel like it's advantage USC once again. However, we can't make the mistakes. We can't make, and we'll look at some of those penalty numbers. We can't make the crazy penalties, beating our own self. Just self-inflicted wounds is what I like to call them. We got to eliminate those self-inflicted wounds, and we got to come out and execute as well. When you look at the last game versus Nebraska, we just didn't execute well, man. Even though we won the game, there were a lot of opportunities that whether it's drop balls, whether it's overthrown balls, whatever the case may be, whether it's penalties, we did not execute well, and we had a lot of self-inflicted wounds. So first and foremost, we got to eliminate some of that. But when you look at this matchup, man, USC right now, according to the ESPN, USC is a 14-point favorite right now. So that's advantage USC, and for the most part, Vegas has been right pretty much all year long as it relates to the spread or whatever. Northwestern right now is a 9.2 favorite. Has a 9.2 chance to win this game. On the other hand, USC is a 90.8 chance to win this game. So you see right there, it's a big time advantage USC. And I think if we play our game, USC can absolutely move and groove. Now, when you look at this team as a whole, this Northwestern team, the quarterback play, this is a quarterback that's thrown for right around 1,300 yards. And just to give you a little bit of compare and contrast, his 1,300 yards, when you look at his yardage, compared to a guy like Jaden Maiava threw for 2,315 yards. We're talking about almost 1,000 yards difference. So we're not talking about a quarterback that's just going to light you up. But, and I'm not saying he's a game manager either, but I'm saying that if we get after him, which I think should be a part of the game plan, we get after him, force him to try to throw the ball. And listen, penetration is going to be everything to us. And of course, you're talking about the run game. Stop the run game. Their run game is not just they don't have just a slouch for a runner. They got a runner that's ran for over 608 yards on the season. And so they're going to come out and try to establish their run game and try to move and groove from that perspective. So what do we need to do, and what is this going to look like? You guys know we talked about Floyd Boucard, who I kind of mentioned. I felt like it was a game changer. The true freshman, the super freshman is what I call him. He's expected to possibly be back, and if he's back and he comes out and just give us a little bit of what he did prior to him leaving, USC could do some great things. I just feel like the defensive line as a whole, as I stated when I announced that he was possibly coming back, they just haven't been the same. And I like what I saw last week from an edge perspective when I saw what Devin Tompkins did on that edge. And so if Devin Tompkins doesn't necessarily get the inside this week from a nose tackle or D tackle and gets out to that edge like he did last week, he looked powerful, man. And, of course, you guys know we got Cam Crawford that's going to move and groove. Shelby, as well as Anthony Lucas. All those guys going to do some attacking on the edge spot. But when we talk about the interior play, I got to see a guy like Floyd Boucard get in there, man, because to me, and of course, Jakeem Stewart, those two, for whatever reason, they work very well together. Jakeem Stewart and Floyd Boucard. And if you get those two guys going, of course, Carline Jones came in there, showed some flashes. And I'm not just saying start the freshman, do all that, but I'm just saying when they came in, whether it's at a reserve position, together, and you saw those two on the field, I just thought we had a different energy and a different presence. Floyd Boucard, 300-pounder, he just brings a different presence. And, you know, if we get that type of thing going, of course, Kobe Pepe and some of these other guys, of course, Keyshawn Silver as well, I think USC is going to be able to move and groove. Stop the run, plug up the middle. USC can absolutely have some success. As far as our linebacker play, I want to see Desmond Stevens kind of repeat what he did last week. He led the team with 10 tackles last week. He filled those holes, and I thought he absolutely did a phenomenal job filling those holes. And, of course, Eric Gentry is going to be Eric Gentry. He's going to be that unorthodox type of guy that's going to, you know, whether it's extend plays up in the air, extend his arms up in the air to kind of, you know, do some unusual things, throwing patterns for the quarterback. And so I think if we do those things from a defensive perspective, USC is going to have some success. And I think that's how we need to kind of approach this game as it relates to attacking these guys. So when you look at this team as a whole, and real quick, let me touch on our offense, what we need to do. Of course, like I said, we got to execute. Now, some of the things that I haven't seen us do from a wide receiver perspective, I guess in two games now, a couple of games, whether it's the Notre Dame game or whether it's the Nebraska game, I haven't seen us getting a whole lot of separation. I want to see us this game get some separation, man. And Lincoln Riley's going to draw up the plays. You guys know we talked about him being a play caller. And one thing that kind of opened the door for us to do some things that are different now, they have to worry about Jaden Maiava's legs now. Jaden Maiava, the way he utilized his legs last week, that has to be accounted for. Nobody can unaccount that. They have to make sure that, look, the defensive defenders are going to have to stay home. Those guys on the edge, they're going to have to stay home. So whether we get Lake McCree, whoever, out in the screen, or whether we get them up the seam in the middle, we got to exploit. We got to really, really take advantage of Jaden Maiava possibly keeping the ball and running it, or having the option to throw it, or having the option to run it. That is open to us now. And I think that's a good thing that Lincoln Riley essentially discovered, if you will, during the Nebraska game, because Jaden Maiava wasn't doing that prior to this. We knew he had the ability to, but he just wasn't doing it. He did it a couple of times, but we saw it with an extra burst, and we saw the clip with Urban Meyer talking about Lincoln Riley being the play caller he is. That's going to open our offense. That's going to open not only our passing game, but it's going to open our running game. So I want to see some more of that, and I want to see it more effective. And then we could really see this USC offense really get to moving and grooving back to the Michigan game, but even more effective than the Michigan game, because we didn't have that at our disposal. Of course, you had Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders, and of course, King Miller running during the Michigan game, but you didn't have that Jaden Maiava run factor. You got to account for that now, and it's dangerous, it's serious. And for him to put his head down the way he did, you know, a big guy coming 6'4", 230 pounds, 25, 30 pounds, they have to account for that. So look, when you look at this Nebraska offense, Nebraska on the season is, let me pull it up. Let's get into our offense real quick first. USC on the season is averaging 505 yards of offense, which ranks second in the FBS. Passing 302.3 yards, which ranks 10th in the FBS. Rushing 203.6 yards, which ranks 20th in the FBS. Scoring, we rank 39.8, which ranks 8th in the FBS. Our defense, we're averaging 355 yards per game, which ranks 56th in the country. Passing, 212 yards per game, which ranks 59th in the country. Rushing, USC, 143 allowed per game, which ranks 61st. And then scoring, we're allowing 22.4 points per game, which ranks 53rd in the country. Overall, USC's defense is allowing 360.3 yards per game, which ranks, Excuse me. Let me double back. Northwestern offense, 360 yards. We're moving on to them. Northwestern offense, 360.3 yards per game, which ranks 91st in the country. That's Northwestern's offense. So, I think USC possibly can. We can hold them under 300 yards. I think it's very, very well possible. Passing yards, they're averaging 372.4 yards per game, which ranks 118. Rushing, they're averaging 187.9 per game, which ranks 30th. And then scoring, they're averaging 22.5 points per game, which ranks 102. So overall, Northwestern's defense, they're allowing 304 yards per game. Now, we're averaging 500-something yards. Something's got to give. I think USC can go over, I believe, at least the 350-400 mark per game, per this particular game. I think that's very well possible. So they rank 19th in the country with yardage per game. Passing yards, 165.1, which ranks 57. Rushing, they're allowing 139.1, which ranks 57. Scoring, 16.8 points per game, which ranks 13th. So they're doing a pretty decent job, man. And when you look at it, Northwestern is 106 in defensive third down percentage, allowing opponents to convert 42.4%. USC ranks 11th on offense, converting on 51.6% of third downs. Northwestern, they rank 105th in FBF with a 4 turnover margin compared to USC 50th ranked plus 2 turnover margin. USC, here's what we gotta not do. USC ranks 79th in FBF, averaging 57.3 penalty yards per game. That's just 57 yards penalty yards per game is something that we can't do. So look, man, you guys drop the comments, man. I want you guys to give me your score prediction. I think USC can get out to a good start. One thing I could say, with USC and of course Lincoln Riley, home games has been our very best friends. I think USC is going to win this game of a score of around 38 to 17. I don't even like the 17. 38 to 14. I believe USC can get this game, man. You guys can drop the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. Listen, everybody that comes on, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that share button. You guys know it's a 6 o'clock kickoff game. 9 o'clock Eastern, man. USC is going to be at home. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit that share button. Don't forget, 38-14, USC is going to win this game. I'm out of here. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.